Hey, good Monday morning, my friends. MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa here with the MLive Morning Weather Update. I hope you had a great weekend, and I think we have some really great weather coming up here in the next week or so. I sent a note to my editor, Tonda, and I said, this is the kind of weather that we live for in Michigan. Look at this. We'll have some days with highs in the 70s, comfortable. We'll have some days with highs in the 80s, nice and comfortably warm, summery. And we'll have a day or two that flirts with 90 degrees or breaks 90 degrees. And for those that love the hot, humid weather, that will be there. Hey, good morning, Mike Stetz, and good morning, Kevin Nag from Genesee. So let's get to it. Now, today we have to get through a cold front, an actual cold front that will bring us the drier air and the slightly cooler air on the way by later tonight and tomorrow. Now, that cold front's going to gather strength as we go into the afternoon and evening hours, and that's where the timing of thunderstorms always comes in very important on these marginal strong to severe thunderstorm situations. If it happens wherever it's at in the late afternoon and early evening is where the strong storms will be the strongest. It's Monday, and that will be in the eastern part of the state. So that's basically what I'm going to show you, is that the eastern part of the state could be quite thunderstormy this afternoon and this evening, while the western half of lower Michigan and the UP quiets down. Here's current radar. And few showers, numerous showers around the Detroit and Ann Arbor area, far southeast right now, and also in the northeast, and then a line of showers off in western Wisconsin. But let's get into the modeling and show you what's going to occur. This is actually the satellite imagery. We have some areas with sunshine. We have some areas with the thick clouds and the showers. We have the breaks in the clouds across Lake Michigan into Wisconsin, Illinois. So we will have off and on sunshine. It will build the heat, and that will help the thunderstorms build. Let me grab the latest high resolution rapid refresh. Sometimes I like to reflect, and let me go off just for a moment here where we've come since I started professionally after graduating college in 1989. We had two models. The resolution was about a 45 mile by 45 mile square. So in that one 45 mile by 45 mile square, the model would say rain, no rain, snow, whatever. We would get 12 hours, 24, 36, and 48. What happens in between? We called it interpolation. Now we have all kinds of models, and we love this high resolution rapid refresh model that is very accurate. When this first came out, when us meteorologists first heard that the models were going to try to forecast the radar, we said, what? Is that possible? And it was excellent for us. So here we go. This morning, the showers are diminishing in the southeast and in the northeast. And then we go to the afternoon. This is 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. So it's not a real huge, robust pattern. It's basically Ann Arbor, Detroit, the Thumb, maybe Flint, Saginaw, and what we call the sunrise side. That's up around Alpena and Oscoda and Greenbush and all those places. You get into the thunderstorms this afternoon, this evening, and this model almost wants to try to forecast two lines. So as we get to late evening, 10, 11 o'clock, midnight, another round of storms could blow through the Thumb. And notice I'm not talking about Grand Rapids, and I'm not talking about Traverse City or Cadillac in the storms, because it looks like the meat of the storms will be in the eastern half of the state. I like this. This is the high resolution ensemble of total precipitation, and it shows you the story I'm telling you is that the storms gain strength as they get into the eastern part of the state, east of I-75, especially the thumb. So this total rainfall, an inch in places, and when you have thunderstorms, you can go above an inch pretty quickly. But then notice places like Traverse City, Manistee, Ludington, Pentwater, down to Muskegon. What you have right now is probably what you will get, and that's about it. Okay, now we pick it up. So the question has been to me, when do we get this humidity out of here? This is the cold front that will, lower the humidity substantially. So let's continue to march on. And by the way, we're going to look at the 4th of July. So hang with me here. We're going to look at the 4th of July, and it's looking quite confident on consistent on what kind of weather we will have. So we will be looking at that. So here's the next model. And note that this model does not do much as far as storms in the east. I would trust the high resolution rapid refresh. And then we're into tonight now. Now we're into tomorrow, and tomorrow looks dry. This is all the way through tomorrow, and now we go into Wednesday. We're at early afternoon Wednesday, and early at Wednesday looks dry as well. Then we pick up with the European model for the long term. So this is this afternoon and this evening, obviously. This is tomorrow's precipitation. When you see the first little gray level, you pretty much ignore that. And then we go to Wednesday. Again, dry. We go to Thursday afternoon. Again, dry. Let's start the holiday weekend early, right? By the way, I'm starting it tomorrow. So I'm going to be off Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and the 4th. I've had enough of weather for a bit. I got to take it off. This is 4th of July. It looks dry over lower Michigan. Possibly some thunder showers in the western half of the UP. And then the next weather maker, maybe Sunday, July 6th. We'll have to watch it. That far out, it's kind of hard to tell. All right, temperatures today in the 80s, a lot of places. Tomorrow in the 70s to near 80 degrees, lower humidity. Wednesday, just about perfect for a Michigan summer day. How about temperatures in the low to mid 80s? And then Thursday into the 80s, starting to creep up. And then the 4th of July, I would call it 85 to 90. With a lot of 86, 87s, classic, perfect. Now here's Saturday. This model wants to bring us into the 90s on Saturday. I think flirting with 90 or 92, something like that. This is Sunday, still in the 90s. So we could turn out to have a pretty hot end of the holiday week. This is July 7th, July 8th, July 9th. Again, just great weather. We get some cool downs in there, and then we go back to some warm weather. Okay, last thing here now. Whoop. Okay, last thing here now, we want to look at the 4th of July. And we've looked at it somewhat. We're looking at temperatures 85 to 90, and we're looking at dry weather. I'm going to show you what it looks like aloft so you see why it'd be dry. We're going to look out into the future as we head into mid-July. And again, I continue to think that the story of this summer is a week of hot, a break now, and then some comfortable summer weather. Now, as we get deeper into summer, the hot could take over more. It often does. But here's our upper airflow, European ensemble mode. Remember, you're looking at 15,000 feet up when you see a U-shaped bend. That's a storm system. That's what's coming through right now. That's what that bluish area is. That's a bend in the storm track. And then we go to Wednesday and Thursday, and let's get to Friday, 4th of July. This is Friday afternoon and evening. And what you see is a ridge in place aloft. So that air is spinning counterclockwise. That does not produce precipitation. There is a wave out in the Dakotas and Nebraska you can see. This is Friday night, 4th of July night. So we could expect maybe the next batch of thunderstorms to blow through on Saturday, July 5th, I would say. Let me grab the longer run. So something like this, if I only have this map, I'm going to say 4th of July is warm and dry. And then as we go into July 8th and July 9th, we get into a little bit of a northwesterly flow. This is an ensemble of 51 tweaks. July 13th and July 15th. In other words, nothing extremely bizarre. At times we could run a few degrees warmer than normal, and at times we could have a day or two with high temperatures, mid 70s, and low humidity. I think that's a summer weather pattern we can all get behind, right? All right. Hey, thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. I will not be with you tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday. Looks like quiet weather. I won't be with you at 4th of July. Hopefully I won't be with you next weekend, but if we have severe weather, I certainly will be with you. So take care. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. This has been the MLive Morning Weather Update. Bye.